this is a new era, bringing it all together, getting the right mind, we grind, we do it forever, that's the only mission. Elevated thinking, it's a vision. Yeah, I'ma keep moving if this don't hit. You can't stop me when I hop aboard the spaceship. Sit and watch as I make shit. I am not a human, I'm a living constellation.
Seriously, kids been trying me lately too. I work with kids, and I'm like, yo, y'all are. I have no words, man. I have no words.
I mean, I have words, but I can't say them. I'll get fired.
Yeah, exactly. That too. I try not to. I'm like, yo, Lord, grant me patience, man, because this is pushing that fine limit, my friend. Yeah. Fine limit, my friend. And y'all got kids?
I manage her.
I got one kid.
You got one?
He don't claim. No, I'm kidding.
How old?
5.
5? Okay. Yeah, I deal with like 9-year-olds, between 9 and 18, which is a huge gap. But it's interesting.
Is it like teaching, or is it like a program?
It's essentially a military boys and girls club.
Okay.
To put it simple. So it's like after school program. Kids come, we run different programs and stuff, help them, learn different skills, try different stuff,
What's up? Yeah.
Keep it simple, so it's fun. But military kids, so it's a whole other additional dynamic that goes along with it. But,
okay, yeah.
But it's cool, it's fun.
Yeah.
They stress me out, but it is worth it. It is worth it, seeing them, when you finally hit those kids that are just like, oh, I get it. You're like, this is the point. This is why I'm doing, they finally click. It finally clicks for them, which usually doesn't happen until they're like 14, 15. I'm like, damn, you got like 5 years to go, man, before you actually figure this out. So I got to be patient with you in your just progress, because you're just not developmentally there yet. So, like, all right.
It's the biggest thing.
But they smart, though.
They are smart. I'm like, y'all, some of y'all are too smart.
Too smart,
Like, bro, stop.
In a moment, you feel me? It's like, I used to work with kids aged like 2 and 3 or something. Or it was a young group of kids, right? It was at the Deming Center, and they were bad as hell. Some of them were good. Some of them, you feel me? Some of them were really good kids. There was this one kid named Price, and like he had like some sort of like issue, like where he couldn't eat the regular lunches or whatever the case may be. And like whenever they brought in the lunches, he would throw a tantrum because he had dietary restrictions that had to be.
That's fair.
You feel me? He was like he couldn't. So it was like one of those things where like you would see like the teachers continuously try different ways and get just frustrated. And it's a thing where it's like in a sense like that, where that kid is like separated from everybody else in a certain way.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like his mind, he needs to feel included. He needs to be doing something else that everybody else is doing whilst he's. So like. Yeah. It got to a point where like we used to do these like little stories where like like I would include names and just make up some BS story about like, oh, like one day like, oh, Price was walking through da 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 this and that, and like he saw this and that, or you feel me? And then like they would like pick options like, oh, like what do you want? You feel me?
Yeah.
So like that got his mind to a point where he was so distracted, and he was like he felt so included with everything else that was going on. It was easy. It was so easy for him to get through his lunch, everybody, and then by the time, you feel me, nap time came, everything was cool, everything was good.
Yeah.
But like that whole thing, it taught me a lot, because like you said, patience is one of those things that like it's really a key virtue in this life, because all we really know is time and space. You feel me? Our experiences are all built off of time and space. So like if we can't sit in a certain space for a certain period of time, and we can't calm ourselves or calm our minds and find peace in ourselves for a certain extent to be able to withstand that, then it puts us at a huge disadvantage.
For
you
sure.
feel me? So
yeah. For sure, yeah. It's very interesting too, and it's like that inclusion piece is so big for kids. Like, and I wouldn't even think of too, like, and I've been in youth development for a while. It's like even at 2-3 years old and wanting that inclusion is so heavy on them, because it affects how they act.
Yeah.
If they don't feel included, then it's like they fall off the wagon and we're like, oh, they're just a bad kid. It's like, no, they feel left out because for whatever reason. And it's like we have to figure out those ways, and those are things that, you know, they do with the training that I have to do at my job of like finding ways to include kids, whether, you know, developmentally, like we, you know, for example, like we play basketball. Like obviously some kids are good at basketball and some kids are not. So how do you incorporate the kids that are not in with the kids that are good? You know what I mean? Like you divide up the teams, you know, stack a team, you know, let them double dribble, you let them travel, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, you always have some of those kids that know how to play and they're like, yo, travel. Like, dude, no, listen, like you gotta understand, like they're not at the same.
Yeah, bro.
I'm like, they're not at the same level as you, bro. Like just relax, like compartmentalize some things a little bit and just play. You know, have that understanding. And, you know, that's why, like, you know, to bring it full circle, you know, as we start, it's like being a part of a collective. It's like allowing people like in your circle to bring people in. Not saying that like any of you guys were like outcasts before, but it's like being a part of something just makes it that much better because you have those people around you. You can engage, you can interact, you can build upon the skills that you already have and grow as a team, as a collective. You know what I mean? So it's cool. It's cool. Good way to start. Good way to start. So what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay Faith, and this is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast, where we make connections through conversations. I want to say God bless to everybody. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been tuning in. Shout out to MOCG, Minds of One Collective Genius, the collective that we are a part of. I want to shout out Kayla, our co-host, who is not here tonight, but you're with us in our prayers. Salute to you. We got Krispy in the back, as always, doing his thing behind the scenes. Again, my name is Jay Faith. We also got
L.Y.F.E.
And I'm going to let our special guests introduce themselves, because as you can see, they brought the whole squad here tonight. So I'm going to let y'all start, introduce yourselves, do your thing.
So it's good. You'll vote to the second.
Yo, what's going on? My name's Kazima X.
It's your boy S.O.V.
It's Malik Noir.
I'll go by Mercs.
And I'm just Andres.
Andres, word.
I'm missing our boy Jay Anthony, but hopefully be coming in soon.
He'll be here shortly. So cool.
Shout out Jay Anthony.
So what is like the official collective that y'all have like brought together? Give me like the groundwork of like how this all came about.
I'm gonna let V start that off.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
And then I'm going to tell the real story.
Okay, that's fair. That's
I
fair.
don't
3
know.
sides to every story.
I
Right?
guess so. Yeah, that's how it always is. But how it basically started for real, like rEvo, is basically the name of the group. But it started off with like me rapping a couple of friends in high school, and then we were just doing it after school at my crib every time, just recording, having fun and shit like that. And then I said like over time, going into college, I still kept on recording. I was recording in my dorm and stuff like that. And then after a while, I've been known Kaz like all my life pretty much, and then we connected. So I'm like, yo, we should like try to form a group a little bit. He put me on to Malik, and then I pretty much just brought the name back. And then I already knew Joseph already from high school as well, Jay Anthony.
Yep.
And then from there, you know, we just pretty much just connected from there. And then we just pretty much just branched off from there. So I guess like what, been like 2020, I would say.
I think, yeah, like COVID, beginning of COVID.
Yeah, beginning of COVID, I said we probably like started starting this movement.
Okay.
And then around like just last year, we just actually started with recreation, and that's where SOV Saul comes in there too.
Yeah.
So we obviously have shout out to my boy Jay Prez and Sadia as well. So we actually help with we actually run a studio in PBD.
Okay.
And then you know, from there, so it's kind of like a branch off of as well too. So it's called Recreation Studios. And then you know, and this is where we are now. So pretty much, yeah. Let me know if I got it wrong.
No, it was accurate. You looked out a little bit, but it's all right.
Word. So where does the name come from? Just revolution or?
Yeah, I would say like at first I just called it rEvo because I just like the name, no bullshit. And then there was this after a while like Millie kind of like added something to it. So like so rEvo pretty much is like revolutionary entrepreneurs, visionaries only. So
Okay.
Putting that all together, just kind of put everything together. You know what I'm saying? It's like it all makes sense. You know, we all entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
you know, we all
big
you
facts.
know what I'm saying? We all, you know, trying to get this shit done too, visionaries, everything like that. So yeah, that's how the name came up.
It kind of worked out perfect because we had the name, but we wanted a name that meant something. and then we,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying, it worked out perfect type shit.
Yeah, because the name, it kind of built it was more like a concept too. Like it became like bigger than a name type shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like we were talking about like the inclusion thing. So like revolutionary entrepreneurs and visionaries only, like yeah, you have that level of inclusion versus only, but how many entrepreneurs and visionaries do we know?
Yeah.
You feel me?
A lot.
Like
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, so it's like that's what we try to, I guess, push. That's who we try to, you feel me, like uplift and uphold. You feel me?
And you can be creatives in your own way too, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't just have to be like music or, you know, like video, whatever. Like there's so many different platforms and ways that you can be a creative that it's like, yeah, like we put, I guess you could say, an imaginary box around the name of like, you know, creators and stuff, but it's like you can really fill that box with a lot of different things. So it's like it's really not limiting people. It's just how you envision it and how you kind of categorize it and really like dive deep into see how much of a creative you actually are. You know what I mean? It's like people, you know, when you start like diving deeper and dig into it, you're like, oh yeah, I really am a creator. Like, okay, now that makes sense. Okay, I can be a part of that. And it's like, yeah, like you can, like just take a second, think about it for a little bit. You know?
And there's more of us too. Some of us make beats or working on clothes and their own music, and so there's a lot of us, you know.
So what do y'all do individually, like that are here? You know what I mean?
I say we all artists for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Artist, engineer, producer. I make art. I make clothes. I'm wearing my brand right now. It's called Forte. I'm pretty much a part of rEvo. My name's Sav. I'm a part of rEvo, Recreation, and I got my own thing, Forte. You know what I mean? But pretty much I do everything. You know, I started the studio with Voltaire too, Sadia and J Prez. But that's what I do.
Okay. Yeah, it's like we tend to wear a lot of multiple hats, literally and figuratively. You know what I mean? Like I have my own clothing. Crispy's got his stuff that he does. You know, between photography and you know him putting out. You got some ideas for clothing too.
Yep.
L.Y.F E does his own thing. He's got obviously co-hosts here, music, multi-genre music. You know what I mean? I got the podcast. I got music. I got clothing. I got brand ambassador. You know what I mean? So it's it keeps us busy.
Keeps us busy.
Yeah, for sure.
Keeps your mind going too. You know?
Yeah, but that's what's good about having a team. Is like you have a team and it seems like you're doing everything, but you don't have to do everything.
Yeah.
Again, you got like you got a producer, you got artists, so it's like you guys can mix and mingle. If you need somebody to rock, rock the Forte. You know, you can have can you just rock this shit real quick? Let's take some pictures real quick.
That's what it's about, just building a little community within your people, you know what I mean, and bringing everybody up with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's kind of similar to how ours is. Like, mine's a one collective genius. Which is, just as it says, just bringing a bunch of different minds together. Like, you can be pretty smart. You know what I mean? And we got producers, we got photographers, videographers, same thing as y'all. From all over, too. Like, we got people that are in Denver right now, New Hampshire to Southern Mass, from where y'all are from, to... So it's definitely spread out. How we all really got together, I have no clue, but it's worked. And
the grace of God, bro.
Yeah, seriously. And our dynamic is, is definitely, I would say, different. And I think, just being spread apart, can make it challenging. But, for us in our dynamic, although we are spread apart, like everybody is still working, still representing the brand, and just having their own little piece. And then when those times come, it's like, let's come together as a collective. Let's do this. Let's do a show. We do fundraisers. We do, community cleanups every single year, stuff like that. Because the logo is Brain Earth, so it's like, we got to do something to help the earth and stuff like that. So we put together a community cleanup, stuff like that.
For sure.
To do our part too. We as I'm sure you guys try to too. It's like we focus so much on ourselves that we want to try to give back to our communities as well too. And we're trying to kind of expand on that with giving back to people who are maybe just starting in music. and how can we help them grow? It isn't just about like gatekeeping or keeping skills away from people. Let's help each other out. Like, let's just grow this together. Music is supposed to be, a community, and why, there's a lot of times people are excluding people from that community, and it's like, why though? Like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
It's like if you have all this information, just share it with people that would use it, would want it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Pretty much.
And it's like you got it from somewhere. So
exactly.
So it's not like you just like manifested it into your brain.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, I have this brilliant idea of being a producer and how to produce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like we're this generation. Let's pass it down to the next generation.
Yeah.
Out so they can do the same.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what we should be doing. I feel like.
And I think where it gets hard is a lot of people have trouble seeing past that point of like generation to generation, like setting up that actual network of like, you feel me, information and resources to where we can keep this shit going and growing. And it's a lot of it stops at a point where it's just, which is completely justified, right? But it's like, damn, I worked this hard, I dodged this and this, I'm still alive, I do this every day, this and this. And it's like, if I don't see someone doing or moving the exact same way that I'm moving or doing the exact same thing that I'm doing that was justified, then why would I put them onto this information that I so hardly earned?
Right. I was just gonna ask, like, do you think like the withholding of information is because we want people to experience the same things that we went through, or is it, or do you think there's like another underlying cause for that?
I think it's that juxtaposition of like a sort of egocentrism. You feel me? Just a very like worldly, like I've been put through so much in this world, like, and those same people will say, oh, I hope I wouldn't wish this on this person, I wouldn't wish this on this person, right? But at the same time, it's like, if I went through it, then, or if I worked for it, then this belongs to me. You feel me?
Yeah, I get you.
That could break into bigger things. You feel me? That could break into a lot bigger, like, but I do think it is something. I think that's part of it, but it's like more a bigger underlying thing to the matter.
Yeah, because like the reason like I started this podcast was to I say it all the time is, you hear the phrase, if I knew then what I know now. Like, I want to bring the now to the then to help people get through that so they don't have to go through that stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's like, who am I to limit somebody, like I said, limit somebody of information that I received from somebody else. Again, I didn't just manifest this into my brain. Who am I to hold on to it when it was never mine to begin with?
Exactly.
So it's like, and again, information can only go so far, because I can give you all the information in the world, but what you do with it is a whole other story. I can tell you how to do it, but if you never apply it and you never do it to whatever it is that you're doing, I can keep on doing what I'm doing and never have a second thought about what worrying about you and your level of success of, going past me. It's like, if I gave somebody information and it made them pass me, there's something wrong that I'm doing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I saw a post today that said people would rather be a poor boss than a rich teammate. And that's kind of what, like, I think kind of relates to what we're talking about as far as like sharing information or wanting to see someone else surpass you with whatever information that you fed them.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's crazy. And it's crazy to think, like, I would rather be broke but still at the top of my company than to have people around me and make money at the same time, or be successful in however you view success.
Right.
And that's a good point. That's great. It's crazy that people think that way. It's like, if you only just added people and shared information and built that network, because again, if I give L.Y.F.E information and he takes off in his own direction and elevates to a level that he never thought of, he's gonna be like, yo, remember that information that J-Faith just gave me? Yo, that dude, that was super dope. I appreciate everything that he did. Yo, you guys might want to check this dude out. Because he helped me out, he could help you out, and then it's like, now you've just created this whole network of people based off of one thing, as an example of one thing that you did for somebody, because you didn't just hold it on to yourself.
And people forget, like that's, that at that point it becomes a generational curse, and people forget that to break that generational curse. If I know information, that doesn't mean there isn't more information that I don't know that somebody else may have. That doesn't mean I can't sit here and have a conversation with somebody and bring up a piece of information and we expand into bigger things. And that we both take something from that. You feel me? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because then you have the people too, they're like, this generation, it's like, dude, what are you doing to fix it? You're letting them run around crazy with their heads cut off, not giving them information on how to do it right because you want them to figure it out. How about you help them figure it out?
Exactly.
And then then it won't be this generation or this next generation. It's like, oh no, they're doing it right. Okay, cool. Everybody's on the same page. And that's why there's such like a disconnect when it comes to like, the younger generation and how music used to be and what music is now and how people are making this music and how people are making that music. It's like, because everybody's so disconnected. I mean, and it's great that there are collectives like, MOCG, and I'm sure there's a billion other ones that are trying to piece everything together. You still have your own team. And that's a beautiful thing because it creates your own identity of who you guys are. You guys give off your own specific vibe of who you are. But again, you connect with Minds of One Collective Genius. You connect other different things, and y'all can just do a lot of different beautiful things and still be yourselves. Within your own entity.
Yeah.
But people just want to continuously see that divide, and it's like, look what happens when you put things together. It's like it makes things so much easier. And like you said, you can be rich and have a team versus something that could take 2 years. You've now made it 5 because you held on or didn't open up or didn't let people in to what it is that you're doing. So it's like.
And there was another artist I spoke to this past week, and he was saying how he's gonna stop posting his music because people keep stealing his ideas and stuff. But someone told me one time, they said if you share an idea with someone or you just share an idea and people steal it, that's a good thing. And that means that you can come up with good ideas. So it's like you should just keep doing what you're doing, like continue sharing information with other artists and continue doing collaborations and stuff. Like it's not, it's within you, so it's whatever.
You don't want to be an influence. So.
Yeah, you don't want to be an influence to the streets.
Right. It's like you're literally doing the thing that you claim to be. In part. You know what I mean? It's like, but again, that can also be a deterrent from people wanting to share that information, like we're just talking about, and kind of gatekeeping, because it's like, no, like, but again, is that your original idea, or did you hear, and then again, things can be recreated, and you can format it into your own and make it your own. Not negating that at all, but it's like it didn't just. With some people, maybe, but it didn't just manifest.
Pop up, yeah.
It didn't just manifest in your brain, and you were just like, oh. And then you're like, no, don't steal my idea.
You ever heard of the 3% rule or something like that? Like, if you take an idea that someone else has and change it by 3% and make it your own, like, you could be successful with it.
Yeah, turn it. Look at hip hop. Hip hop has stemmed from another original idea, and they changed it, and they turned into something completely different.
Right.
So that's not to say that you can't take someone's idea and shift it into your own. Take that 3% and make it your own. That's cool. Like, look at clothing. Just like t-shirts. Like, how many t-shirts can you have you seen with like the logo on the side and then something on the back like that? But people still follow that format, but they make it their own, and they change it and they make it what it is. Whether it's the font, whether it's the, I'm just picking something I'm seeing, like rose on a hat. How many? I got a rose on the back of my hoodie. Bro, why'd you steal my idea? You put a rose on your hat. Like, what the heck? Like, now I got to go file a copyright suit with, whoever put the rose on your hat. It's like, no, you just applied something that you saw and you made it your own. It's okay.
Right.
Just don't literally duplicate it, because then now you're just being foolish and
I feel like that's like so like normal nowadays, like especially with music. It's so copy and paste. I feel like back then when it came to anything, just music, art, if you got caught copying somebody else, they will call you out and you'll be out of here. Like, I feel like nowadays people got to do that more. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like there's too much copy and paste. But
I agree.
We need some, we need some different stuff in the game right now. I feel like,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely back in
And
the
then
day.
some people like
A nice refresher, But I also feel like music is in a good place, since we're still young. It's a young genre. It's only 50 years old, so
That's true.
I feel like it's still young too. Same time.
Yeah. But yeah, back in the day, like you did something that was just
Something
silly.
relative.
Like, oh, there he is, right there. Get him, get him, right there. That him, right there. That's
Like nowadays, they be giving those samples. You can't even get those samples now. Back then, they call you sample snitching. You know what I mean? They'll say you telling the sample. You telling what I use. You know what I mean? That's how it was.
What up? Welcome.
Got Jay Anthony in the building.
But yeah, I mean, again, you look at samples. How many songs have been sampled? How many times?
Yeah. Now they sample the sample of the sample.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Still use the chorus.
for sure. Yeah, that's how it is.
I mean, you look at songs that are out right now. You heard the sampled song before that was sampled by a song before that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're about to do this throwback, and then it's like, no, it's a new version of
the throwback.
the song that. And I'm like,
Sometimes it's good though, you can't not dislike, everything.
I learned that a lot with 90s hip hop too. Like, was it Hypnotized? I think it was something like that with Biggie. I had no idea that was like sample from like something from like the 70s. Like, as well. But it's crazy.
There was a song. I think I've shared this on the pod, but I'll share it again just for the sake of conversation. I was doing a samples thing with the kids in my work, just to see if they could guess some of the songs that they listen to, and I found the samples, so I started playing them. And when I was doing my research, one of the songs was actually the seatbelt sound of like a BMW, and they slammed it into a song. I was like, yo,
You talking about X?
huh?
Yeah.
I was like, yo, who had the wherewithal to be like, bling, whatever the sound is, bling, bling, and being like, bling, bling, bling. I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that takes a creative mind.
Yeah,
like,
for
that,
sure.
That would be something I'd be like, yo, I manifested that.
I seen Kirk Knight too from Pro Era. He made the beat for Plain Jane, ASAP Ferg.
Yeah.
And he sampled the New York train in the tunnel, just going.
Yeah.
Use it as hi-hats, you know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty smart.
Like one of my producers, shout out Kevin Falcone, he once got cussed out in the voicemail and he made like drums out of it. And I thought that was mad dope.
That's funny.
I was like, yo.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think this is the same thing at all. But this man Kaz, he had a fallout. He with his barber.
The barber.
He missed his hairline.
This man made a whole diss track. Got sent it to Shade Room. Whole thing went viral. Bro,
It went viral on the Shade Room.
no way. That shit.
Yeah.
What time you call? You texted him again?
I texted him at 2 o'clock in the morning, I think.
2 o'clock.
No, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. But I needed my cut that day, so I needed to hit him up.
Yeah.
And he sent me a breakup message, and it went viral. Yeah,
It was literally a breakup message. He was
Crazy.
I think you should find another barber out there. It's gonna work out.
Dang.
I'm not gonna lie.
You need the cut though.
Yo, Lee, if you watching this, hit me up, bro. I miss you, bro. If you out there,
I've been thinking about
He's
you.
trying to make up one time.
let's do a music video.
Let's do a video.
Right. Nah, samples is crazy. Like my producer, we were putting a beat together, and all of a sudden he has like this box, and he just pulls out a bunch of stuff, and he has like a lock, the one with the dial on it,
Yeah.
and he's just like clicking it, rotating it in front of the camera, and then he pop it, click it, pop it, click it, and I'm like, yo, what is this fool doing? And then he plays it over the thing. I'm like, yo, my mind is blown right now. I'm
You got the gems in that box or something.
Yo, it's like the fillers. It's those fillers, man. I was like, because you have the the bass line and everything.
Yeah,
and then,
for
like,
sure.
just those little extra sounds that fill it. I was like, yo, I wouldn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's cool to just see people be creative like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And, and just have that freedom of creativity again without duplicating. Just let people create, let people do their thing. Don't worry about, again, as long as they're not duplicating exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let them have their 3%.
Exactly.
And just let it rock.
For sure.
What I wanted to ask too is like, so what, like you guys mentioned like a mission and a vision that you guys do. Like what would that consist of? Like what is kind of like the goal as a group, apart from, you know, I know you guys have like the studio and stuff too, and obviously offering those services, but like, what has been like the mission for y'all?
I think one of the beautiful things about it is this is more. I would more so consider it a foundation for all of us, in terms of like having a grounds to go about the visions that we all, or the visions and the missions that we all have. You feel me? Like, a lot of us are involved in like different areas or different aspects, you feel me, of the game, or what we're trying to accomplish. You feel me? We have our different motives and reasons for what we do, but then we all can come back as rEvo/recreation, you feel me, to actually, okay, to get this done, to accomplish this, to, okay, so what do we need to do? What do we, you feel me? Like, it's really that that point of like humanity, like in all of us, where we putting our heads together and creating like literal visions of divinity and trying to like manifest them.
Yeah, because you can't, like, this is something I've been learning too, like, as of recently, and then obviously like just over time, it's like, people always say, oh, I could do it by myself, I'm doing it, you know, it's all me. It's like, it can't be, because you get so head deep into it that like you miss so many different things. Like, I had a meeting the other day, and he was like, yo, I think you should do this when it comes to your releases, and shorten this and break this up into 3 separate songs instead of 1 song. And I was like, yo, I never even like thought of that. And it's like, you need those outside people to really take that outside look in and be like, hey, I see what you're trying to do, but like, have you thought of it this way? And that's what's good about collectives, because it's like, you guys do your own individual thing, but you can still see from the outside and then come together and be like, yo, I think we should try it this way. Oh, yo, bro, I didn't even like think of that. Like, oh, you know, whatever. So it's like, you need those people around you. You know, we say it all the time, and that's why, you know, I bring these guys in here, and shout out to Kayla too. It's like, I need people around me. I can't just do this by myself. I can't be the only voice for music or said topic or mental health or fitness or whatever. I am not the gatekeeper of all of those things. There's more people that have a voice, that have a different perspective than I do. So like, let's hear that perspective, because it could be completely different than what I have and could completely change my own perspective. And it's like, you never know that until you let people in and you include those people. But again, I digress. It's like,
that's a hard first step sometimes, though.
What's that?
I said sometimes it's a hard first step depending on like what you're creating. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But, like, it's definitely like a good resource, like for sure. It's just like sometimes like, I don't know, you get caught up in like self-doubt and whatnot. But like with this collective, I can say like I've broken out of that show just because like they're like family to me. You know what I mean? So I can like. I can open up about certain shit, and they can like they have my best interests at heart for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're always gonna like, yo, like, I feel like you could flourish if you do this or if you do that. Like, different ideas get brought up to the plate, and like we have so many creative people in our group that it's like it forces you to be open-minded. Like, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and it's all out of love. You know, it's all for everybody to grow. It isn't just to like kick people in their back when they're, you know, trying to figure it out. It's like, no, we may argue, but like, this is coming from a place of love that I want to see you do better,
or to challenge you overall.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to like, get the gears going.
Yeah, because if you do it by yourself, you may never break out of that comfort zone, and you're just like, I'm comfortable where I'm at. But then sometimes you need somebody in your collective to kick you in the back and be like, no, go out there and go do that, because 1, I know you can, and 2, is going to elevate you to a level that you can be at and be comfortable.
And sometimes it only takes listening to what one of them is working on. Like, like, you know, like I was working on a song, and then like I think my boy V like played a song for me like that he was working on for the new project. I'm like, damn, like. I don't like, it's like that kind of feeling of like you don't want to get left behind, like type shit. Like, we all doing this shit together, we trying to do it like at the same pace, and like no one wants to get left behind, and like we kind of just inspire each other in that sense.
and it motivates you. You know what I mean? Like, you see people leveling up. Like, we have one of the artists, Just for Kicks, like, just toured with Chris Webby. And it's like, yo, like, that's... It also makes it tangible. Like, it makes it seem like, okay, those things are reachable. So it's like, then you have those conversations. Like, how did you do it? How did you get there? Okay, let me apply that to me. Not be like, hey, can you get me in with Chris Webby? No, like, take the information. I mean, that would be great. Don't get me wrong, but... I'll speak for myself. I like to grow off of, you know, as they say, like the sweat off of my own back. Again, I'm here to take in knowledge. I'm forever going to be learning and try to take in as much information as I can. But I want to put the work in, you know, to get there. I hate handouts. I appreciate them. Don't get me wrong. They're great. But when somebody's handing it to me, I'm like, okay, sure. You know, in my heart, I'm like, yes, let's go. Done. But you know what I mean. It's like I'd rather
you want to like take that information and apply it to like, you know, the same opportunity with like a different artist, that because like we're all slightly different. Like you want to, you know, cater to those who, you know, like listen to the music that you are making. Yeah, you know.
I feel like
the other person.
I feel like the one thing like everything like has had in common was just the idea, like the perception of things, like how we're able to give each other like a different perspective, but like we're able to show each other our perception, how we perceive, you feel me, literally like what we're doing in real time, what we're making, what we're creating, and like go upon that. And in this industry like that we're in, it's just like everything about whatever you're going through, like the biggest eater of man in this industry, perception, how you feel about how you're perceived. You feel me? Like whether it come to influence, whether it come to publicity, whatever the case may be, right? And it's one of those things where it's like that it cracks deep, like it cracks really deep, because like even outside of this industry, like how you're perceived in general is like how you feel in juxtaposition to the world, the rest of the world. You feel me? So it's like if you can't get past that point of perception to where you're like, okay, like I'm perceiving things relatively to myself. Like a lot of people take things personal. You feel me? Like I had to break out of a spot where I was like taking like many things personal. You feel me? And it's like that perception that like things are like my reality is based off of other people and other things and everything else that goes on. But like once you learn to detach from that sense, it becomes easier to actually like regulate yourself and your abilities to actually just create art and do what you love. And that's where people start to perceive you in your natural habitat. That's what people love. That's when you start to get that actual
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, that perception too. Like, you made me think of just like how you receive things too. It's like, I'll use like a show as an example. It's like somebody can see, you know, you perform and they're like, oh man, the crowd wasn't really that great. But you're like, yo, I just had the best set of my life. And then they're like, oh, really? Like you did? Like, oh, I didn't even like perceive it that way. I didn't even see it that way. I just saw it from this lens. But it's like, it's completely different for you. Maybe I can learn to appreciate things a little bit differently based on how you view things. Because again, it's like, you know, you do, like I've done a show like with, it was just the artist and there was 2 people there. Some people would perceive that and be like, damn, that's a sucky show. But I was like, yo, I had a ball. Like we were vibing off of each other. We were supporting each other. It helped me get through some of the songs that, you know, some of the newer songs that I've done. And I ended up killing it. You know, you kill it. And again, you just, you get a one-on-one with the artist. You get to just kind of, and it's like, yeah, would I want more people? Of course. But it's like, I took in the experience for what it was and how beautiful it actually was. Got to hear some R&B, got to hear some dude, I don't even know the instrument. It's like the guitar, but it's like a piano. I'm so uncultured. You know what I mean? So ill-informed, but it's like to hear those 3 things and it's like, you know, 3 different things, and to be able to be a part of that show, it's like my perception of it was completely different than what people, you know, may have thought. But it's like, okay, like I can, you know, maybe I can or when I'm in that position, I can try to open up my lens a little bit to see like how I can actually appreciate this, even though it may not be initially how I would have perceived it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the numbers thing we was talking. It's like what you value versus like you could value just numbers as in like, you know, how many people are there, or you could value it like how many people were affected by what you did that night, and that should matter more. Like you turned up with some people, so
right.
If you hit 10 people, you know, or even 5, like those 10 or 5 people are gonna, you know, tell their friends, their family,
exactly.
like, hey, you should get it. You should, you know, listen to this artist. Like, I'm going to this show. Like, you should come.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's facts.
Like, you gotta
10,
come.
Yeah, 10 turns into 20, 20, 50, 50, 100. It's like we get so caught up in those numbers, and it's again using Spotify Wrapped again. It's like, oh, I only did like 1,000 streams. It's like, but the year before you did 500. So it's like stop comparing what everybody else is doing and look at the actual growth that you're doing.
Yeah,
and it's like you're really like you're doing a good job. Again, stop looking at the comparison and focus on what's really important. Change that perspective of it and be like, oh, okay, like, yeah, I did 1,000, but it's not 500.
Yeah.
You know? And that's, you know, maybe 20 more people, 20 more fans that I have. And it's like, yo,
I used to get so caught up in like, oh, like every song is only getting like, you know, 100. Like I'm lucky to, you know, even get 100. But like, where'd you start from? 0?
For real.
Where'd you start from 5?
It's
like,
never gonna be 0 again.
Right, exactly.
Everybody
it's
starts
just
at
gonna
0.
keep going up slowly but surely. You gotta, you know, trust the process. It's a very hard grind. It's a long, hard grind, but it's only the beginning, you know.
It's about being grateful. That's it. You know,
It's also
just
about
being
like
grateful.
how you like market yourself as an artist as well too.
Right, and
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
how you figure out like what room you should place yourself in when it comes to like live performances. Yes, you're gonna, you know, run into a situation where like nobody comes, or like you get, you know, only 5 people come, like we were talking about. But like that's how you figure out like what avenue you should go down.
Yeah, exactly. I think like living for the experience is a big part of things too. You feel me? Like, you know, like what you were saying, like even what Cass was saying about like how you value, you feel me, the whatever situation you're in at the time. You feel me? Just living for the experience. It brings it to a point where like, if you learn to, I guess, reshape like I may be going into something expecting one thing, right? And then I go there and it's a completely different thing, right? In my mind, I can either like choose to feel away or feel upset about how things were, or I can live for the experience and like literally just allow myself to, you feel me, like be present in that space.
Yeah.
Like live it up. You're gaining things and learning just by having conversations with people, and just live your life, and you get so much, like so much comes from that. So much more than because I had expectation and that expectation wasn't met. Now I'm affecting myself and what I'm, you feel me, how I'm able to like process my environment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got to chase the energy
For real.
that you want, you know, out of the situation.
Exactly.
And the problem with that too is it's like their expectation is off because they're already on to the next thing. They're not in, like you said, like they're not in the moment. They're already like, oh, what's the next thing? Where should it be? Instead of just being like, it is where it is right now. You know, people lose that. And it's like, bro, like just be there, like appreciate it. Like I said, like 3 people. And I was like, this is pretty cool. I'm here. Like, let's just absorb it. Let's just take from it. And it's like, learn from it. Capitalize off of it. How can you do better? What can you do better with it? Can you promote better? Can you talk to the promoter? How can you build that connection to be like, yo, listen, you need to really fill this place up because this is crazy. You know, there's only 3 people. How can you make a change with that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, it's a Saturday night, Sunday night, and there's 3 people here, and it's just artists. There's a problem, and we need to fix it. I'm willing to work with you. Let's figure this out because I'm a creative. I need a place to perform. You got a place to perform, and you need creatives and people to fill in the seats. How can we figure this out? Let's work together.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it can also humble people. You may think you're the bomb.com, and then you only get 500 streams instead of the 2,000 or 50K that you thought you was gonna get. Sit down and humble yourself for a second, and just relax.
Yeah.
And again, figure it out, work through it, take a step back, be in the moment, and just breathe.
Breathe, yeah, just
breathe, bro. Like,
keep rolling, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, song here is gonna like really shoot up. It's like, holy shit, how that happened, because someone shared it or someone like used it in a TikTok, and then it turns into 2 songs and then 3 songs and then whatever else, you know what I mean? Then sooner or later everything starts to, you know, take off.
Yeah, and you can't really rush the process of making music as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely learned that as well. Like, under my old name, I used to go under the name Freeman, and I used to have like 40, 50 songs, but like over time when I look back at it, I'm like, damn, a lot of these songs are rushed because like I'll post and be like, all right, I'm dropping on this date. Yeah. Knowing damn well I'm not gonna drop it on this date in time, and I'm just like, all right, fuck it, let's just do it. And then I just put out whatever. It's like, damn, if when I just took my time and then, you know, dropped it when it was supposed to be dropped, then it'll be better, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you gotta think about the quality as well.
Yeah,
and, you know,
100%.
just take your time with it. So
yeah, because a lot of people, they try to rush it, and it's like you lose that quality. You lose what could have really been there if you just took a second, a third listen to it and been like, oh, there's an empty space here. I can feel that, you know, with a simple ad lib. Like, I've shared this before too. It's like, I finished an entire song, and then I listened back, and I was like, yo, put me on the mic again. And I was like, and literally played the section. I was just like, okay. And then finished the song. And I was like, now it's where it needs to be. Because that okay filled the gap that needed to be filled. But if I just left it, yo, bro, if I released it and listened to it back, yo, that thing would have been irritating my soul.
You remind me of a song I'm working on right now with that. I'm like, damn.
Like that.
Yeah, I've literally had to take stuff off of like, not like, but like I've had to abort releases real quick. Like, that's the worst feeling. Just like feeling like you got everything down and, oh, this shit sounds crazy. But then like you do it and then you listen to it back the next morning or another day or whatever the case may be.
Don't hit the same.
Like, god damn. Like fuck. I could have
artist too. Yeah, I was gonna say too, like, as an artist, like, I feel like the more you just create music, your ear just like evolves, bro. So like, understanding more about like mixing and mastering, and it's like comparing it to like, you know, our songs that we listen to like on the radio, or whatever, or like on like streams. It's just like, yo, how do I like get close to that type of sound as much as possible? So it's like, you know, like your ear just like evolves, bro. You just have to just work on like using your sources and making the most out of it to create the best thing you can create. So
yeah, like you can make like bomb music like using GarageBand, like if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
Like learn.
Some people use voice memos too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yo.
I've had people like send me voice memos too. To like be like, yo, mix this, touch this up. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll do it, you know?
Yeah, but it's like if you learn and figure it out and learn how to master that, it's like you'd be surprised like what you can actually do. But people just see those, you know, like GarageBand for example is like, oh, it's low quality, it's, you know, it's this, it's that, it's, you know, the bottom of the barrel. But it's like if you know how to use it, like you can make a project. You know, or it's like, oh, you only have to record in the studio or whatever. It's like, yo, Lil Wayne was making mixtapes in the back of his tour bus as he was touring, and he was just recording on his bus with a mic and a laptop. Like, if Wayne can do that and be as successful as he is, I think we can make some adjustments in how we view what the, you know, as an example, what the recording process might look like for some people.
I think Justin Clancy made that hit song on an iPhone.
Yeah.
So like,
again, if you know how to use what you're using, you'd be surprised. I mean, especially now, like we make music. You can make music videos on your phone. High quality 4K, and people are like, "Yo, that's dope. Yo, what equipment you? Yo, bro, I pulled out my gimbal and an iPhone, and I just made, you know, a bomb video. It's like
that's just crazy.
Now there's, you know, some apps like you know, mixing apps where like you you know, put your headphones on, like you have like only the microphone, and like you can make
some crazy shit out of it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he showed me something too. This was back when I had, you know, the 3 cameras and I didn't have the transition thing here. It's like, I'd have to line up all the cameras, I'd have to line up all the vocals, and I'd have to go in and cut
cut it.
everything individually. And he was like, "Yo, they got AI now. It's a plugin, and you just do it, and it'll just cut,
chopped it,
like
real time,
like 5 minutes,
kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 5 minutes. I'm like, yo, if you know how to use it and you got it, like you can use an iPhone and GoPros, and stop. Like we said at the top of this, it's like stop worrying about the stuff that you have. Use it well until you can get to the next step. It's not to say you got to stay with an iPhone the entire time. Master what you got. Like I made my first project off of GarageBand. I mixed and mastered it myself terribly, but I learned from it, and and then I learned to get into studios. I learned how to record myself and send it out. How to send a good audio clip to somebody. But it's like you put yourselves in those positions, and that's what I had to deal with. I didn't have a studio at the time. I didn't have a studio that I could go to, but I had people that could mix and master. So I learned how to record it correctly and send it out so they could mix and master it correctly. So it's like it's a process, but like, dude, deal with what you have and grow with that. The other stuff will come, as you can see, per example here. Again, to use this as an example, iPhone, webcam, to here, and again, that can be applied anywhere. So it's like, dude, just breathe.
And people forget you gotta take the time to learn. Like, you can't just jump to a spot and jump to having this, and that, and expect you to know how to use everything to the fullest extent. You feel me? Like, before getting into the studios, I was trying to like record by myself in my crib after school type shit. You feel me? And just going through that, like the little FL Audio Technica, that's how I learned to use FL a bit, this and that. But then it also got me to a point where I'm like learning layers. I'm learning like, okay, how does this work? Okay, in terms of this, what can I do? How far can I push this? So when I'm going in studios and I'm talking to engineers, they're talking so much smoother, going back and forth. You feel me? Like, you really have to know, like, and you realize afterwards too, like a lot of the times. But you have to have, like we said, the patience to sit there and realize that, like, as you're going through that, or live that through, or breathe, and just, like you said, use what you have to the best of your ability before moving on.
Yeah, it's like the production thing that we were talking about. Like, I have production sessions with my producer, as I'm sure you guys do as well too. And it's like, being in the room and hearing the instruments and learning the process and seeing how that goes. Like, he was playing through different drums and hi-hats and stuff, and he's just going through and doing his thing, and he hits one of them and then like bypasses it, and I was like, yo, well, what was that? And he's like, oh, I didn't even like think of that. But it's like, if you don't take the time to learn and to grow and like grow that ear for it, you're gonna miss it, and you could miss that hi-hat that you want, that could take your take the beat over the top, stuff like that. So it's like, take the time to learn, bro. Like, take the time, because like your ear is gonna change, and then you could just advance how your output is, and it can be a lot better than the quality is going to be a lot better, because you're going to fill those pieces of it.
Exactly.
But yeah, people try to take shortcuts, and then they're like, oh, I got a 4K camera, it's supposed to do all of this, but I don't know how to use it, so I don't understand why it's not shooting in 4K. Why is it still in 1080? Because you don't read you don't read and figure it out and how to change it in the menu section.
Yeah.
You just thought it was going to
one button, but I can't find it.
You spent months.
To what's more like expensive, people just be attracted to it. That's like, yo,
Or like, you spent months saving up for that camera when you could have been practicing on like a cheaper camera, so you know how to deal with aperture and whatever the fuck.
Yeah, they just think it's automatically going to do it for them, and it's like, no, if you took the time to learn those, the different functions of the camera, you can apply it to the more expensive one, instead of just going, it's not doing what it's supposed to. It's garbage. No, you're garbage, because you didn't take the time to learn it, and you have no clue what you're doing. It's not some just magical thing just because it's $5,000 and it's supposed to shoot in 4K that it's gonna automatically do it. No, you got to do it in post too. There's stuff you got to do in post. Like, Krispy takes some dope pictures, and then I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's super dope. And then he's like, wait, hold on, let me do it in post. And then I'm like, oh man, like, that's even better. It's like, no, it's like, yes, you can take great pictures, but you can also edit them great too. And it's like there's more to it, but like no, you just think, oh, I'm gonna just take my camera out, I'm gonna take a great picture, and then it's gonna be, you know, with the faded background, and it's gonna come with this, and it's gonna come with like, no, there's so many more details that you're skipping, bro. Like stop. It's just, but there are people out there that are like that. I used to be one of them. I can say that because I used to be one of them. I was like, yo, I got this 4K. I'm like, do you even know how to use it? Like, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Like, yeah. But that's how it goes, and I don't know. I could keep going on as we all could. So
I feel it. It gets back to the point where you have to like ask yourself, like realignment, like what am I really doing it for? Like
exactly. Like, are you wasting your time because you want to get somewhere? I say that loosely, not wasting your time literally, but you know what I mean. It's like, am I wasting my time to get somewhere, or am I just wasting my time to stand in the same spot with the 5K camera, not knowing how to use it?
You gotta have like that when you got that connection, that innate connection to whatever you do. You feel me? That's then everything we were talking about just flows in. Everything comes in because now you're willing to spend everything, time, energy, space, money, like all of that on learning, mastering, you feel me, and like output, you feel me, productivity, stuff like that. Like it all works out.
Yeah, if you care about what you're doing, you're gonna invest in it. Whether it's, like you said, like whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's knowledge. If you don't care, which we see all the time in the music industry, it's like they're only in it for that, you know, that dollar sign or whatever it is, or the fame, or that, you know, brand ambassador or whatever, you know, whatever. It's like you can see it because you try to hold a conversation like, oh yeah, I just showed up and it's like you have no clue what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, you know, we see in the music industry specifically.
My apologies.
Nah, you're good. Artists getting screwed on deals because they don't know how to read a contract. They don't know what's in the contract. They don't understand what the words mean. And then they're going, I didn't know I had to pay that back. I didn't.
What do you mean I owe you $100K?
You mean I have to give in that car? I have to turn in that Bugatti now?
Gotta recoup that.
Yeah,
recoup
like,
all that.
Oh, you mean I have to
understand that?
Yeah. Oh, you mean I have to go on tour for 4 months to pay for this back? Yes.
Taxes.
Yeah, because you spent it all.
Yeah, you spent it all.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I always said, like, if I ever were to get a deal, it's like I'm just making an album. You know, like I'm not like I'll wait till the second one. Let me make the album. Let me make sure that this is consistent. This is something that I can do. Let me make sure that I can recoup, go on tour, do whatever. Let me make sure that I can recoup. If there's anything left over, let's apply that to the next album, and then the next deal. All right, maybe we can have some playing money, or invest, or save if you want. Being smart with it too, because again, music doesn't last forever. It is what it is, and we all know how the music industry is in general. Anyways, you gotta, you can be making music, but you also have to be making a clothing brand. You have to have your deals, your endorsement deals. You got to be involved in 20 other different things. Like, it isn't just this beautiful picture. Oh, I'm on tour and I'm making an album and I'm in the studio with Beyonce.
And back then they took at least a year minimum to release an album. Like the next one, they took their time with it. You know what I mean? Like the process was way different back then, I feel like.
And that's why those albums are classic. Like, I look at, I've said, I know I always say this, but like I've said this before. You look at the music that is coming out now. Like, name me an album, and maybe I'm wrong. Name me an album or albums. I'll say albums that you can say like, yo, I can listen to that front to back constantly.
That came out this year. Or
just
like,
maybe within the past.
Just like anything.
I'll say
15 years.
3.
Pimp a Butterfly.
15 years.
Yeah, I was about to say, it'd have to be Kendrick. It'd have to be Kendrick.
I mean,
But when did that
there's
come
other
out?
things too, though.
2015.
Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? That's like 9+ years. Like, getting back to when people were still taking the time to create the albums. Now it's like,
now music is so like on demand. Like, they want it like.
It's like yo drop a single. Next 2 days they'll be like, where's your next single at?
Right, exactly.
Like, you didn't just drop a single with the video and a lyric video and all this. You know what I mean?
That's because none of it really has substance for you to marinate and like think about for like 10 plus
People's
years.
attention span is so short nowadays. That's what it is too. You know what I mean?
That's why I'm even skeptical of like this project I'm working on right now, because like I'm looking back at it, I'm like, damn, that shit like 49, 50 minutes. And I'm just like, yo, and just knowing how the world is right now, like people's attention, like their attention span is mad short, so it's like they may think should I cut it or not, but it's like
don't cut it.
Don't cut it.
If anything, cut it in half and do 2 EPs.
That's what I do.
Or take an EP and do the rest all singles, because it is a singles game, dude.
yeah, it's right.
Like that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
It's a singles game. That's just where we are right now, and it's a visual game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Really, yeah.
Keep note of that.
So if you honestly feel like that's going to be an issue, drop an EP and drop the rest of the singles.
Right.
Now you already have that much work that you can sit on. Now you can start working on your next shit, bro. Or you can turn around and start shooting straight content for every single one that you have coming out.
Yeah.
And that's what the guy at the meeting that I had like kind of shared with me. He's like, you can still have the album, but we are in a generation where music is consumed very differently. So he's like, you need to have, like a single, like every 2 months, we'll start with like every 2 or 3 months, and then you build on that. And then it's like, now, like by that time, you'll have music to be able to drop a single every month. And then at some point, you drop the album with those songs. So then, and like, not blew my mind, but I was like, yo, things that I forget to think about. He's like, you put all those songs out. We'll say you put out 5 songs. And then you drop an album that is 10 songs, including the 5 that you just dropped. But you've already capitalized on the streams that you already dropped from the first 5, which get applied to the album. So it's like now you're already coming off of, we'll just for the sake of argument, you come off releasing a project that you can now pass to labels or playlists that you can say it already has 5K streams. And they go, what? Oh, okay. All right, now I definitely want to place this because people are already listening to it and it's already gaining attraction. People are already kind of hearing about it. Now I can capitalize off of that. So it's like, it's just a different way of thinking. Or it's like, I'll say it, I'll let the cat out of the bag. Like, I have a song, and I'm a stickler for, like, I'm an old head. I like songs done correctly that are, like, 5+ minutes. If you do it correctly. There's a way to do it.
That includes a bridge, hook, all that.
Yeah. There's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, you could split that into 3 songs. So, like, all right, I'll give you a further example. And again, I'm giving the cat out of the bag. So I'm making a song. It's called 7 Floors. There's 4 verses, essentially. And with a bridge. And he's like, yo, you could drop the first 3 floors, then the second 3 floors. Then you could drop the bridge as like an interlude type of thing. Again, these are just singles. And then drop that 4th verse. And the 4th verse is going to be like, sound like a completely different song. Because that's just how I'm transitioning it. So it's like now you have 4 singles that you can release, still the same song, and then when you put the album out, you can just put the whole song together on the album.
Yeah.
So you don't have like a 25-track album, but you have, a 10-track album.
And people like series. Like if you can make it like a series, like 4-1, 4-2, except how you were saying, yeah.
Exactly.
People like that.
And it's like you just turn
that always continues, part 1, part 2.
Exactly. People like that.
Without even, calling it part 1. You can call it part 1, part 2, whatever. But like, you don't even have to do that. Just let it roll.
Exactly.
Yeah, because he's like, the songs that are hitting, that are streaming, are like no longer than 2:50, like 2 minutes 50 seconds.
Yeah.
So he's like, again, capitalize off of that. You can just chop it up. It's not taking away from the song, but now you're making it more of a prolonged thing. And again, if you're like me and you hear the beginning of a song but it like cuts off, or there's like a segue into like, well, something could happen next, well, now you've got people going, what is gonna happen next? So now I'm gonna wait for the next song. Oh, now there's 4 parts to it. Oh, now I need to finish this song. It's like,
or I gotta go back and listen to the other.
I use this very loosely, and I know many people are probably gonna kill me for this. But it was like trapped in. I don't know why this popped in my head, but like trapped in the closet. You heard the first part, you were like, "Oh, what happened? Oh, now he's in the closet. Oh, now he's out the closet. Oh, now she came home. Oh man. Oh, okay. Like, all right. Like, cool. Okay, but you like back and then you were like, I want to know what happens. Yo,
Yeah,
did
for
you get
real.
caught? Like, you know, what happened? It's like the same anticipation. It's like, I don't think people's anticipation just disappeared. We just have to tap back into it. Because again, we're into that instant gratification. It's like, okay, we can give you instant gratification, but I'm only going to give you a piece of it. You still got to wait for the rest of it.
Right.
And then I'm going to drop the whole thing so you can hear it.
And it's like those parts, that instant gratification that you're giving them, like they're gonna keep, like it just grows that core fan base even more. You feel me? Even like you said, like you guys are talking about new listeners that come, they hear a part that they like or whatever the case may be, then they're gonna go back, look at the other parts, so through the whole series, and they're gonna start making connections about the artist because you feel me, this is a series. Like you feel me, like they
invested.
felt exactly. You feel me, like it brings that investment from the music back into the artist who's making the music, and that's when everything flips. You feel me? Like that's when the influence starts to boom even more.
Yeah. It's like Netflix, you know. It's just like only 8 episodes, but it's like, oh shit! Like now we gotta wait for episode like second season.
Right.
Yo, I hate those.
Another year or two.
I hate those ones though. That's like, oh, it's eight episodes, but like you still gotta wait weekly. Like back in the days, you're like, yo, this is Netflix. I'm supposed to get it right now. But they're like, yo, like wait till next week. You're like,
Power for real.
I'm binge watching right now. Where's the next episode?
For real.
But it's like when you split it up, and he was sharing this with me too. It's like, again, using that 5-minute song. It's like maybe they only like the 4th verse. They can go back and just listen to the 4th verse and enjoy it because that's the verse that hit them the most. So it's like you still cater to that piece because some people, they're like, I don't want to listen to the whole song. I don't want to fast forward it. I just want to hear that part. Now you can. And you've created content for yourself.
Yeah.
No,
That's my shit.
that's the shit. Yeah.
What's that?
No, this is. You go ahead.
Now you talking about the heart. Part 4. It was like a Kendrick series, pretty much.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, and it was dope. It was dope to hear that. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I never, again, having people just see from the outside and be able to give you that. It's like, yo, I never even thought of that. I could still make it my own, but it's gonna help me get to where I need to. Still create the music that I want to. Still take my time because I'm the same exact way. Yo, if it's not ready, I'm not putting it out. It's gonna be where I want it to be. Like my last album, Apartments, took me 10 years. And that was because I wanted the right beats. It wasn't the right time. I wanted to hit the studio. COVID hit. Didn't have the money. I was like, I want it this way. Not to quote Backstreet Boys. But I wanted it a certain way. And it was going to be that way because of what that album meant to me. So if it had to take 10 years, it took 10 years. This next one, I'm hoping it doesn't take me 10 years. But I'm definitely more in tune with what I'm creating now versus back then. But I'll take my time. You know what I mean? It's like I'd rather put out something that works and I'm happy with than to go back and be like, oh man, I should have put that okay in there. You know, it's something as simple as that. Or that hi-hat, we could have took that out. It's like, no take backsies. Yeah. It's already out there. Sorry, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Or you're that person that's like, no, I'll take it down. But then you're like, and then you have people, yo, what's that song you just put out? Did you just say you put out an album? Oh yeah, that's it. Now you gotta come
go
up
back to the studio, make
with the
adjustments.
awkward face of, oh yeah, I had to take it down because you know, do this and that. It's like,
I forgot
But
it.
it's fire though. You don't realize how many people were messing with it, even though you thought it was like, you know what
That
I'm saying?
too.
So like,
that too. It's like, yo, I liked it that when the hi-hats were in there. You didn't have to take them out. It's like, I liked it. And that's happened to me too. I'm like, yo, man, I really don't like this song. Like, I put it out because I did like it. But it wasn't like my, you know, you have like those top songs. You're like, yo, this is going to be a banger. This one, it's more for me. It's a little low-key, but it's cool. People like it, cool. If they don't, cool. And then like, yo, this song was I'm like, yo, I did not even expect. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you never know with people. So it's like, put it out. And just see what happens because you never know. People might be like, yo, this song slaps. Like, it needs to be like, you need to put this on like Tony Hawk Pro Skater or something. You know what I mean? Like something crazy like that.
I've missed out on probably like plenty of streams based because of that okay thing. You know what I mean? Like, damn, like I forgot this one ad lib or whatever the fuck, and I just ended up forgetting the song and not putting it out. It's like, damn, I probably should have put it out. So that's just. Yeah, at a vault.
Wow.
We all have a vault though, so it's not.
but it's like 60 songs gone.
For real.
Word. It's good to have.
Oh, you deleted mad shit.
Yeah, I do a bunch of shit, but I learned from it now.
Send me that shit EP, bro.
I need that shit EP. That's no cap.
We won't talk about it.
That shit was a 5.
Bring it up.
Yeah, and then now you have that, and then now, for example, if you wanted to do that, what I was just talking about, it's like now you can do that and still have stuff to the side.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, because I was talking to the guy, he's like, you have 10 songs that are ready for your album, per se. He's like, you have a year's worth of music. And I was like, I never even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you have a year's worth of music that you can release.
That's a single a month.
And just
10 months right there, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, put the first 2 out, put a visual with it, then you can do like a lyric video, then you could do, animation video, keep it simple, watch your budget, because we all know the fun part of the industry. And it's like, I'm like, damn, like I never thought to think that way.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And I'm like, all right, I'm not in as bad as a position as I thought I was. Because again, me, I'll disappear for 9 months and then drop an album type of thing. Put it together the way that I want. You won't hear from me. I'll perform, whatever. But like, as far as like releasing music, you can wait 9 months and then come on. Because I was in like the like the NF mindset. Like NF disappears for like a year and a half, and then all of a sudden
2 years, yeah.
But like it also goes to show like the fan base that you build. Like I can disappear for a year and a half and then drop an album, and people are like, I've been waiting this whole time for it. Thank you for putting this out. I've been waiting. So it's like, again, make those connections with people.
Yeah.
The fan. We do rely on the fans. So it's like how you engage with them and how you put that out. Because again, they have that memory in the back of their head of L.Y.F.E coming up to them and saying, yo, what's up? Appreciate you coming to the show. And then a year later, L.Y.F E drops a single and they're like, they're the first one to share it to their story or tell their friends. It's like, okay, like you have that impact.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. It's tangible. It's easy. But we forget that. Those little simple social skills or, whatever it is. There's those little things. We're just like, no, we need to be up here. It's like, no, sit down and humble yourself and talk to the fan that's there. Network. Have conversations like this. Share information. It's like, you never know. Like, we've talked with so many people, and it's like, oh, like, whenever we need, when we have a question about this, or, hey, we got this happening, like, we have people that we can hit up. We have people that we can talk to. We can have people that we can bring back and have a conversation with. And it's like, the conversation continues like they never left. But it's making those personal connections. That's just as important as making the music that we create.
Exactly.
But again, people forget those things and they try to skip steps and then they wonder, like I said before, why they have a $5,000 camera and don't know how to use it.
I feel like that's when they fall into that huge misconception of like, that huge misconception of basically like, now I don't want to be seen for my like back to perception, like okay, I have all this music, people are fucking with the music, but I might put myself in a light above or away from fans or supporters, you feel me, away from everybody else, to where I feel like, oh, I'm this way or I'm that way, right? Now, at that point, you start to break down, and them same people start to realize, oh, they only love me for the music, oh, they only want the music, and then they regress, and a lot of them literally end up falling off, like, to the point of, like, where we haven't seen a lot of them back, you feel me?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. So, like, that's, like you were saying, like, stay humble. And it's nothing hard about staying humble. I feel like the biggest thing that's hard about staying humble is fighting your own insecurities.
Yes.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't always have to compare yourself to others in any given moment in time. You feel me?
And also that overwhelming feeling of looking for that next step. Like, that's another thing, too. Like, when you feel like you're kind of stuck and, like, you're just, like, sometimes you have to, like, sometimes the key to that is just, like, being as calm as you possibly can, just, like, staying true to yourself. But, like, sometimes that next step gets overwhelming, especially when you have momentum going and you don't know what to do with it. Like, it's like,
yeah. Or my next step. Hold on, let me phrase this right. My next step is your next step. Meaning, like, what you're doing is what I need to be doing next. And it's like, no, that's not the case. You guys are in different rooms. You guys are in different spaces.
Exactly.
Different levels. It's like what you're doing, like your next step is going to look completely different than what mine is. So again, people have that comparison factor and they're like, oh, they're shooting a music video with Jay-Z. That must be the next thing that I need to do. I put out 5 albums. They put out 5 albums. Mm-hmm. But it's like you don't know all the back work that they've done to get that video with Jay-Z. It's like you're comparing apples to oranges because you're only seeing through a small window of what they're actually doing. And it's like, no, that's not your next step. Or they saved $5 million somehow, some way, or they got a grant, or whatever it is. Like, you don't know how they got there, but you're like, oh, yeah, that's my next step. Music video with Jay-Z. Let me break my bank just to get there. And it's like, now you're broke because you thought that's what you needed. You got loans out the you-know-what. Meanwhile, they're chilling because they did it the right way, and you just didn't read their steps correctly.
Yeah, it's like to be afraid to be proud, to afraid to be happy for your environment, to because once things start going up in your environment, that's motivating you. Like, you should be inspired. You should feel like, oh, someone or some person that I came across, whether or not they were in the same place for me, they're able to do these things. Okay, now why can't I be in a position? Exactly. I put myself in a position to do, you feel me, A, B, and C, to get to a position where I feel like I'm comfortable and I know that my success looks different from everybody else's version of success. You feel me? So as long as I keep that in mind while still being, or still allowing myself to be inspired, then where does it end? It doesn't. You feel me?
Or just humble yourself and ask that person, how did you get there?
Yeah.
You know, hopefully they'll share that with you, and you know, they don't keep it to themselves, but it's like, humble yourself and ask them. Don't just assume or think that that's your next step. Mm-hmm. Maybe you need to learn how to perform better before you can, you know, get on stage or in open for Jay-Z or whatever. It's like, maybe you need to get better before you get there. You know, but again, people like to skip steps and then kick themselves in the back of the head when it doesn't work out the way that they want to.
It's like a boat. It's like you going into bigger waters, more dangerous territory, and you're using the same boat you've been using to go through them waters, and you barely made it through. Mm-hmm. But you saying you ready to just jump in. You're not going to repair your boat. You're not going to look it over. You're not going to make any upgrades. You're not taking the time to think, wait, dude, is there anything that I need to do with this boat before jumping into those bigger waters? Mm-hmm. You feel me? Or is it just, oh, I see other people in them waters already, so I'm going to just go straight in. You feel me? With holes in the boat and all. Like, it's crazy.
It's like what Andy Mineo says. You know, when you level up, the boss gets bigger. Yeah. So it's like, you know, in a video game, like, when you level up, like, your skills, whatever they give you, gets better. So you have to add on to that. You can't just go into level 1 Mario and then go into level 15 with the same Mario. Like, you gotta learn, you gotta, you know, whatever it is, build up, whatever. Mm-hmm. But people are like, no, I'm gonna just go in with level 1 and try to hit 15 and beat the game. No, it's not gonna work. You were going to get slapped and kicked out of the game 5 seconds in because you're not gonna know what to do. Because you're like, oh, I didn't know that you had to jump on top of the guy, not underneath him, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you didn't. You skipped steps. And now you can't figure out the game. You know what I mean?
Just keep running into the Goombas.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, I didn't know I could just slide and they would kick out. But you missed level 5 where they taught you how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I digress. You know, it's crazy. But
there's levels to everything. You know, you gotta play the game right. You gotta take baby steps. You know, you can't fucking get to the top of the mountain without even climbing it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It gets tough. It is hard, but it's like part of being human. It's part of the process. It's part of maintaining. Like, that's part of just the work it takes to, you feel me, stay on that path. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like, and it doesn't have to be work as long as you can shift your perception. Mm-hmm. It is work to shift your perception, but you feel me? Like, that's just something we all have to go through. Can't just keep running from it. You feel me?
Yeah. It's true, but people do run from it. Yeah. And it's a sad fact. And it's like, I don't know what to tell people anymore. But that's why we have these conversations. That's why we bring people in. I'm like, what's up?
What's up?
What you doing over there, Chris?
Nothing. Doing What's Cold, bro. I was trying to interrupt the podcast, bro.
Well, now I'm going to interrupt it. What's going on? What's up?
Don't worry about it.
Talking about t-shirts. Oh, t-shirts.
There we go. There you go. All right. Niggas trying to get a t-shirt without being rude and interrupting the shit.
I don't care, man. We here, man. I've never been formal when it comes to this thing. I barely do an intro with this thing. I just hit record. I just hit record half the time. We've never been formal with anything. Sometimes you haven't even done an intro before. No.
Next time be like, yo, Jay, stop talking, yo.
Yeah, seriously, man. Nah, I don't
know who I am.
I don't like to be formal with this stuff. That's why we just chill and kick it. Like, we're just having a normal conversation. Come on, man. What's up? People be so uptight sometimes. It's like, bro, just relax. Just breathe. Just breathe. We said it before. Just breathe. It's cool. You guys got anything that's coming up that you want to plug before we start kind of tidying it up, wrapping up? Anything that you guys got coming up? Any releases? Anything like that you can share?
I think everybody got something, but we should go in order. So whoever wants to go first.
I was gonna say individually we do. Collectively we got the merch. You know what I'm saying? Link in bio. Tap in. You know what I'm saying? Turn around. I ain't gonna go out that. We can go to the website. Tap in. You know what I'm saying? We're all working on different projects. I'm working on an alternative project. Probably be my last project for a little while because the singles, like bro was talking about, like the single game is where it's at for real. But I'm working on like changing lanes entirely and doing like some like alternative hip hop, like indie type of swag.
Okay.
Yeah, just experiment with different things. And
exactly.
Later on, it'll turn into like one of those projects.
Yeah. So that's what I'm on.
That's always cool, man. I like when people try to just try it, you know, and just see what happens, you know. And usually it turns out great. But some people are just too scared to.
Right. I tried it. I liked it so much. Now I'm thinking it's gonna be my main sound. So
yeah, you never know. You never know. Who next?
Jay, switch it.
Probably gonna be dropping a video like first week of April to go with my project. I'm hoping to drop by the end of April. Still figuring out the name for it, but I'll say definitely way more personal on this tape than like the other tape I dropped before called User. It's more just having fun with that tape, and then but yeah, you know, it'll come out when it come out though. You feel me? You can't rush it.
Yeah,
can't rush it. Shit about to drop in June now.
Nah, we still good. My thing time's up.
Yeah, I got a single dropping Friday for me. Keep an eye on that. SOV all caps on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Instagram @Salvioso. Got some Forte merch coming out soon. And pretty much the meaning behind my brand Forte it means what is your forte? So I want to know what you like doing. Because for me, I'm heavily into music. I like clothing. I like fashion. I like skateboarding too. Just the culture of it, you know? So those are things I like, but I want to know what you like. So go ahead and tap in with me on Instagram, forte.worldwide. And yeah, got merch coming soon.
Word.
I got this Friday I got an EP coming out, To Whom It Should Not Concern Part 3. Got features with my boy Sov here. I got features with Vulture II. I also got a feature with MK, who is also just here. That's gonna go crazy. That's the third and final part to the series. And we got some shows coming up this month. So if you want to check us out, like all together as a group page, it's 42.rEvo. You feel me? And then they got recreation.studios. And then I'm gonna go ahead.
Release date. But definitely I got a project coming out. It's called Sin City Love Letter. It's just like a collection of different like sounds. Like it's meant to really show my versatility, but also like shed light on who I am as a person and what I've kind of been through and who I am as a person, to be honest. And yeah, just tune into that. It should be coming out sometime. I'll say summertime.
Summertime.
For now.
That's fair.
Just to be safe, you know.
That's fair. Word. Anything else?
You got any beats? Freestyle on something? You got any beats?
She ready.
On my other hard drive.
He ready.
Shit.
Yeah, on my other hard drive.
Just so people can see what we about, you know? Just want to show.
That's better than the other beat playing the first in there.
So what kind of music do you make?
Like I started off with like mainly hip hop, but I mean like I've developed my singing voice over the years. So I mean now I'm like tapping into like R&B, pop.
Oh yeah.
I worked on like some Afro beats.
That's what's up.
I'd like to get into like EDM.
Country.
Yeah, a little bit of country,
Okay.
country R&B. Him and I have like a rock hip hop song.
Oh, yeah.
You all over the place.
I'm
Okay.
trying to
I
tap
respect
into
that.
everything.
I respect that.
Yeah.
I like
It's really
that.
crazy.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Gotta hear that.
Yeah, L.L.F.E with a Y.
Got to a point where it's like Jay was like, you know what, like you say you make R&B, but like you only hear it in the hooks. Like sing more, you know, stop rapping
Yeah,
for a
man.
little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
and it just
and
turned
perform
into
it.
everything
What is your
else.
forte, baby?
For sure.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure. This dude puts hooks. I'm like, dude, what the hell, man?
Mm-hmm.
That's my forte. What is your forte?
Yeah, yo, this dude.
What is it?
That's what I was thinking about. Like when I
Tap
saw your
in.
hat, I'm like, okay, yeah, forte.
Well, that's just
That's
bad.
his forte. This is
Yeah.
my forte.
Thank you.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure.
That was a
Yeah,
good guess.
Thank you.
yeah. When we were doing our collab album 41st Ave, like we got stuck on a couple songs. I was like, yo, Life, like I got my verse, I got everything else. I was like, we need a hook. He's like, all right, man, give me 1 sec. And then he sends it back. I'm like, well, that's it. There we go. All right, done.
Bro,
Check.
that was
Oh, yeah.
one of my songs on this project actually that I'm about to drop. Like I had a song that I was stuck on. It was literally one song. It was an open verse for the longest time. I want to say like at least like 6-7 months. Like I was stuck on it. And then I went to the studio. I was like, yo, I went to these guys. You know what I'm saying? Who better than, you know what I'm saying?
Right, for
So
sure.
I went to them. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna play the song for you guys, right?" They noticed the open space. This man right here, what is your forte? You know what I'm saying? He just
Mr.
wrote that
Forte.
shit in like 15 minutes. Hopped in the booth. I'm like, "Yo, what the exactly
Yeah.
what I needed." Like
That's dope.
literally. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been doing music for like 7 years now, so like I'm at that point where I pretty much know how to pretty much do everything. So I'm just trying to showcase that.
Yeah, absolutely.
you know
you
what I
have
mean?
to. You
Yeah.
have to. It's like this guy.
If you guys want to tap into, oh yeah, we just dropped we just dropped the EP actually in January. I want to say January
Okay.
24th. So
Okay.
you can tap
That's
in with that
recent.
too. Voltaire 2, SOV, and Sadia. Sadia fully produced it. It's called See No Evil.
Word.
But yeah, 5-song EP right there.
And go back what Joseph was saying too. It's funny because Sadia made a beat on there. I think he showed it to me like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, yo, this beat is so fire. I didn't know what the fuck to do on it, bro. In a minute. And then once we got the studio, we're like, yo, trying to work on an EP. So I heard it and it was like, yo, I got something for it. And then from there, I was like, yo, now I got something for it. And then
Yeah, sometimes you just need that click. Something that just
it's
clicks.
like click, bro.
Yeah, like I usually don't hop on like everything either. So like it gotta hit me or make me feel. Cause music I feel like is a feeling. You know what I mean? It makes you every song makes you feel a certain type of way when you listen to it. Could be an instrumental, could be a full song. You know what I mean? But that beat made me feel something. And you know, and he said it was from 4 or 5 years ago. I was just sitting there smoking, catching the vibe, trying to just hit my boy's beats. Came across that one, tapped in with him, and it just came to life. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Nigga made my
So
shit in
beat.
20
It's natural.
minutes, bro. Literally made my verse in 20 minutes, bro. Like that shit was crazy. That was the craziest thing I ever seen.
Like, that's when, like, especially as a collective, like, that's when the best music comes out, when you're like just like feeding off of each other, like you're on the studio.
Yeah.
Like, boom, okay, I got some. Boom, okay, I got some. Boom, and then it's
Believe it or not, the best shit like is made pretty fast. Honestly, I feel like if you take your time too much on something, you kind of
you start to
you can get in that mode of like, oh, I'm working too hard on this. I can't, you know what I mean? Scrap it.
I don't even.
Could go either way.
No, like, I don't even write music no more. It's all freestyle.
Just go
All
go ahead and
freestyle?
do it.
Yeah.
Punching method, right?
Impressive, yeah.
Cause it takes time though. Cause a lot of people when they freestyle, they just be saying bullshit. So it takes some time like to really think about. I freestyle, but I really think about what I be saying type shit.
Yeah.
Like conceptually,
Take a lot of
conceptually
practice,
too.
too.
Because some people could just, you know, you could spit and whatever, and keep it going and whatever. But like, is there like actual
make
content?
sense?
Yeah, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Like
yeah,
that's
dope.
definitely another like muscle to work on, like because like especially when you get to a point where you can go on like Shade 45, like all those, you can just go in and do it and like not even think about it.
And separate yourself, because again, like you can have those people that are just like, yeah, like just continue, but like it's just rhyming and just, but it's not really making sense.
They ain't really said nothing.
Yeah, but you can be like, yo, like I really got something to say. And
Also, make the music that you want to hear. You know what I mean? Stuff that you want to be out there, make it for yourself. You know what I mean?
It's really a new style. Like, it's a new wave. We all got stuff that we listen to on our own accords. You feel me? We all got stuff that we came up listening to, and we all got styles that we morphed. So it's like, hey, a lot of the music you hear today, like Kaz's example, right? They used to say this man, oh, he sounds like Juice WRLD. This is his voice. This is like his intonation, right? But that was like when he was first started, or when he was first started, you know, keying up, whatever the case may be. But it got to a point where you see, like, as he was going, as the more music he was making, the more experimentation, the more thought he was putting into whatever he was doing, then that sound, it's like he took multiple genres, smashed them together, and like created his whole own like lane. And it's crazy because like he really like brought back, or like he killed every other doubt that anybody could say about someone who freestyles or punches in when rapping. You can't put Kaz to that. You can't hold him to none of that. So
he's like a smile.
Made it that 3%.
That Juice will compliment.
And we from Boston, so shout out like artists like L.O.G, you know, Acrobatic, Mr. L.Y.F E, all the real people that really, you know, from Boston that came up. Shout out to those people, you know, I mean, the OGs.
Yeah, I got to open.
Got to show love.
It's a good time. Well, I really want to thank y'all for taking the time to come out here.
Thank you.
For real,
this has been super dope. Super dope with everything. As I always say, I always love to leave just inspired. Take something home for myself, or at least keep it here because this is where I live. But I appreciate y'all for real for taking the time to come through and just share and, you know, be vulnerable for a little bit. We definitely love to have y'all back on. As always, conversations could change. There's always more to add, to talk about. So without further ado, again, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Shout out to this beautiful collective to my left. But I want to say God bless one more time. But my name is J Faith.
My name is L.Y.F E.
And we're going to do it. Let's go down the list. Introduce yourselves one more time.
Yo. Volt said second.
What's going on? My name's Kaz, my ex.
Your boy, Mr. Forte, Young Savioso, SOV.
It's Malik Noir.
It's J Anthony, baby. How y'all doing?
And as always, we got Krispy Pics.
Oh, sir.
And this is the Right Mind Wednesdays podcast. We'll catch y'all next time. What's up?